Good evening. Welcome back to Chats with Nat. And today we're going to be looking at the primary source, Note of United States to Spain. Okay, so let's just jump right on in this. For starters, this letter is a prime example of the U.S. trying to practice what I like to call neutrality. But furthermore, they were also trying to maintain peace. Now, for those who don't quite know what neutrality is, let's take a look at our dictionary. Neutrality, the state of not supporting or helping either side in a conflict, disagreement, etc. Impartiality. Moving on, let's talk about our letter's author, Stewart Woodford. Woodford served as an American attorney for the Southern District of New York, but also served as a minister to Spain between 1897 and 1898. However, it was not Woodford alone who wrote this letter. It was President McKinley who wished to respond to Spain and Cuba's conflict with diplomacy. On July 16, 1897, McKinley received a letter of instructions from the U.S. Secretary of State John Sherman to give to Woodford in order to carry out his policy. It's important to remember that America's letter to Spain is dated September 23, 1897. What was America's purpose in writing this letter, you wonder? Well, I would say peace and boast. When reading this letter, one can clearly see that America, under the presidential representation of McKinley, wanted no part in Cuba and Spain's conflict unless the actions the nation could take were peaceful. McKinley preferred that America remained as neutral as possible. And as far as boasting, there were times where it almost seemed as if America was saying, y'all are going through this because y'all aren't doing the things we are doing. And in doing this, they were proposing that though they are mutual alliances, this isn't America's problem to fix. Please excuse the following message. It has nothing to do with this video. Anyways, proceeding with our video, let's talk about how our primary source caused a domino effect of conflict. It seems that Spain was not too pleased to receive this letter. In fact, Spanish Ambassador Enrique Dupuy de Lome took one look at America's letter to Spain and decided that the best thing to do was to write a letter that completely criticized President McKinley, calling him a weak man. How is this important, you ask? Well, in modern terms, this insult broke the internet. Imagine trying to send an insult about another person to your friend, but instead you send it to the person that you're insulting instead. It's kind of like that. Of course, we all know that there was no SMS or email back in 1897, but this letter did end up getting sent out and published publicly, meaning that both President McKinley and America received the word. And it's no surprise that in the same year that De Lome's letter was published, the Spanish-American War broke out. Now, how in the world did De Lome's letter touch the world? Well, you see, a group of Cuban rebels intercepted the letter, and on February 9th, 1898, the letter was published in U.S. newspapers. Those damn rebels. So in conclusion, America's letter to Spain played an important role in the Spanish-American War because had McKinley not sent out that letter, De Lome may have never wrote a criticism letter that, motivated the U.S. to go into war mode. You know what I'm saying? Thank you all for tuning in. Have a good night, and don't forget to return for more Chats with Nat.